I'm Greg Rau, CEO and founder of Upstart Labs. Upstart Labs is a startup accelerator. We work with a small number of companies and help them get their product to market and help them launch.
You guys have taken a different model compared to some of the other incubators or accelerators in town. So there's Portland Seed Fund does one thing, Pi is doing another. Maybe talk a little bit about what makes Upstart Labs different from
Sure,
those.
yeah. So we like to take a more hands-on approach to startups and work with a much smaller set of startups at a time. We work with one or two at a time, and we get really deep with the startups. We want to be partners with them. We help on everything from strategy and design and development all the way up through marketing and selling of the actual product. So we're looking to really be an extended part of their team.
Is there funding associated with Upstart Labs as well? Do you put capital in?
Yes, we do. So there's a series of cash and a series of services that we do in exchange for equity, and each one's a little bit different, but in terms of the amounts, it differs from company to company. Some people need more than others, but we tend to work on, sometimes it's a lot of heavy on the development side, sometimes it's more heavy on the marketing and sales side.
And end goal, are you looking to get these companies to revenue? Are you looking to land them additional seed funding kind of level? What are you looking for on that side?
I think a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Initially, our goal is to get a product to market and to get real live paying customers. And I think that sometimes people overlook that in their funding process. And for us, if we can get to that point, it makes them more fundable. And so when we get them and their product set and we have revenue and real customers, that makes the fundraising a lot easier.
For a lot of startups, the dream is the acquisition exit. What's that like for an entrepreneur to have something that you've built suddenly become something that somebody else wants to buy away from you?
It's bittersweet. It's rewarding, obviously financially, but it's one of those things that is hard to sort of give up, your baby. A lot of people are in it just to do that, and it's a really gut-wrenching decision to decide to sell. And I think it's really important to make sure that the person that you're going to sell to is going to support your vision. And it's one of those things that once it happens, it opens a lot of doors. There's an opportunity. I feel really fortunate that it's happened to me a couple times, that it's allowed me to do bigger and better things and meet people that I never thought I could meet. And having that ability has really made this sort of next round and venture been fantastic. So getting me with people that I normally wouldn't be able to get meetings with, and being able to give advice to people that I couldn't have given to them 3 years ago. And it's really great.
You're part of a generation of startups in Portland that have actually been through it a few times. So maybe talk about that in terms of experience. Why do you keep coming back to the startup?
Sure. Yeah. I probably should back up a little bit, but this is actually my 7th startup. So I did some non-traditional startups, non-technical startups right out of college. And I really loved the process of figuring out a company and getting in from the ground floor and not knowing exactly how you're going to make it, but growing from an idea all the way up to the company and going through the ups and downs. And I love that. There's something about sort of being in the trenches and working together and figuring it out and surviving. And I've done that from scratch a lot of times. And so, I've been pretty fortunate to have had a couple of successes, and it's sort of my way of giving back a little bit. I enjoy taking an idea and shaping it, and Portland is a great place to do that. And you know as well as anybody else that it's a community that's growing fast. When I sort of came to Portland and looked around, the startup community was pretty small, and there wasn't a lot of huge successes, and there's still always this sort of natural tendency for people to try to help them, help other people, and I really like that. You didn't get that as much in the Bay Area, and people helped me a lot when I was here, everything from searching for jobs or getting clients or exchanging ideas. And I don't know, I felt like it was time to do something where I could help that startup community. And it finally feels like it's here, Yeah. It's taken 10 years, but it's one of those things that it's great to be a part of. Everything has their place, and there's a whole ecosystem that's all working together, and people are really generally happy to have successes, and it's really fun to be a part of.
We usually get to talk with entrepreneurs, but maybe a good one for you as well would be, let's say there's somebody who has interest in being an angel or who has interest in being a mentor. Where do they start? How do they get involved in the community? What advice do you have for them?
Well, there's certainly a lot of opportunities to even invest in a small level. So everything from, Oregon Angel Fund, which is relatively inexpensive to try to participate, and you can participate in a group and invest in things in a bigger way, just have a smaller percentage, but you get to network and meet a lot of other angels in town. There's very small specific events like Angel Oregon. There's a lot of Angel Oregon, where you can invest a really small amount and participate in a one-time thing and go through the whole process of meeting startups and deciding who should be awarded money. And so I think there's a lot of programs that people don't necessarily know about that you could invest and be part of a sort of bigger group and sort of pool together to make a difference. And you don't have to have a fortune to invest. And I'm not sure everybody knows that.
Portland's doing a lot of things well. Sure. What can Portland do differently, or what could we improve upon within the next 3 to 6 months, a year, to make things different?
I think that sort of, back to the sort of funding, that middle tier of funding and connecting the sort of business leaders to the startups here, there seems to be a little bit of disconnect between, I call it old school and new school technology. Connecting those people is important. I also feel like there's a lot of, I don't know the elegant way to put this, but there's a lot of talking and not enough doing. So everybody wants to get involved, and a lot of people are getting involved, but we really need to do stuff and help these companies out and get them moving and get them funded, and everybody can do their little part, and it will all grow. So.